So our Thanksgiving plans got canceled at the last minute. Yesterday we found out that there were some new travel restrictions for visitors from New Hampshire coming into Massachusetts because of the pandemic. So that has made us change our Thanksgiving plans last minute. My parents live in New Hampshire and we were gonna go to their house. It was still gonna be a very small group, just 5 of us from 2 households, but we got a little bit worried about the restrictions. I'm not sure how they'll enforce them, but I also don't want a $500 fine, and it is probably better just to be safer right now. But that means I don't have any plans for Thanksgiving dinner. My parents were gonna do almost all of the cooking, so I don't actually have very many groceries, and so I wasn't really sure what to do, but I decided that what I'm going to do is figure out Thanksgiving dinner for Sean and I from only in the ingredients we already have in the house. The last thing I want to do right now is go to the grocery store Thanksgiving week during a pandemic. That sounds like the worst. So today is Tuesday and I'm going to start my preparation. And it's going to be a pretty small meal, but the first thing that I need to get ready is this pork roast. So we had this awesome pork rib roast in our freezer from our meat CSA at Chestnut Farm. Yesterday I took this out and got it started on the defrosting schedule. It is defrosted, and so I'm going to get this going because I'm going to dry brine this for a couple of days, stick it in the fridge, and then on Thanksgiving we'll slow roast it. Honestly, I'm not mad about this because 11 times out of 10, I would rather have slow roasted pork roast than turkey, and I've eaten a ton of turkey this year. So let's get going. I'm gonna go find some ingredients to put on my dry brine rub. So let's see what I find. All right, I have all of my dry brine ingredients together, and I'm gonna put them together into a salt rub. All right, so our pork roast is rubbed super well with all of that rub that we just made. So into the fridge. And we are doing that uncovered again so that the air of the refrigerator can dry up all that moisture that comes out of the pork roast. So that's it for Tuesday for prep for our last minute. Use what we have in the fridge or in the pantry Thanksgiving feast. I'll be back on Thursday on Thanksgiving to show you what else we pulled together. I don't have a lot in the way of vegetables, so we're gonna have to be a little bit creative, but I have, I think, a pretty good idea. So till Thanksgiving, see ya. Happy Thanksgiving, or happy day after Thanksgiving, because you're probably not watching this until tomorrow or this weekend. But I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and you have a great weekend. We are getting our dinner ready. So we're gonna take our pork out of the refrigerator now, and we're gonna let that come up to temperature so it cooks quicker. So here's our pork. It's been in the fridge since Tuesday, and it's gotten really kind of dry on the outside, and A lot of the moisture has come out and the flavors of the salt rub have been sort of brought into the meat. Also, drying this out will help kind of elevate the porky flavor. As more water comes out, there is sort of just more pork flavor left. So we're gonna let this sit for an hour so that it comes up to room temperature. I've also been working on some carrots. So for our side, since I don't have a lot of vegetables in the house, but we have carrots always, I'm going to try a carrot risotto. I had this idea last week for kind of a curried carrot risotto. So I'm gonna put these in the oven and get these roasted. I'm gonna make a puree that I'm gonna fold into the risotto at the end. And I think the risotto is gonna be really great because it is both a vegetable and a starch at the same time. So I don't need to make two things. We can just make risotto. So those are gonna cook. Those are gonna roast probably for a half hour or so. They've got some brown sugar, some salt on them, and I'm just looking for them to get really soft and caramelized. And then I'm gonna take them out and put that pork roast in. Okay, so my carrots are all caramelized. They're probably in there for about a half hour, and I probably should have put some parchment down. This is gonna be a little bit of a soaker. I set my oven down to 300, so we're going to cook this pork roast very low and slow until it's at about 145. So it's gonna take several hours. So we're gonna get that in. It's about 2 o'clock here, so we're probably gonna have kind of a late Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna get our pork roast into the oven and I'm gonna check it probably after a couple of hours to see where we are. And again, we're looking probably about 145, and then we're gonna let it rest and we'll be back in a little while. Happy Thanksgiving. So today we are spending most of the day in the kitchen and we have our Zoom command center set up here and we made some great shrimp cocktail. We use Alton Brown's recipe, so I'll drop that link below. We're playing lots and lots of games. So it's a pretty fun day. Also, passion fruit mimosas. Sean made these Kaido milk rolls. It's Joshua Weissman's recipe. We'll put that in the link below. And they are gonna go in the oven right now. And our pork roast cooked for about maybe an hour and 20 minutes at 300. It is done its first cook and resting, and we're going to put this back in a very super duper hot oven so that we can get a nice crust on this right before we eat it. Now we're going to make the risotto. In a pot with oil that's heating up, we're going to put 1 shallot and about 3 carrots that we diced pretty small. And then we're going to give that a stir, and that's going to cook for a couple of minutes until the veggies get soft. And now we're going to add in about a tablespoon of curry powder and let that cook for about a minute till it toasts. And then add in our arborio rice and mix that around so it gets covered in all of that oil and curry powder flavor. Now, I forgot to film this part, but I did add about 1/2 cup of dry white wine and let that basically evaporate off. And then we're going to start putting in hot chicken stock. I have about 8 cups of chicken stock that is sitting on the burner next to this one. And that is just warm chicken stock that I'm using for this process. We're going to use that stock to cook the risotto slowly. Add a ladleful at a time, waiting until the previous ladleful has been absorbed. Your heat should be pretty low, maybe a medium low here. Stir the risotto often, about every minute or so. I like to add the stock, stir, let the risotto come to a very light simmer, and then stir and repeat. Add a new ladleful of stock when this happens. You scrape the spoon at the bottom of the pan and it doesn't immediately flow back together. Guys, look at these rolls. We're gonna brush melted butter over these hot rolls, and then we're gonna sprinkle them with super flaky salt. And I gotta tell you, these are some of the best dinner rolls I've ever tasted. Now, once the risotto is cooked through and the rice is nice and tender, we're going to add our carrot puree that we made earlier and stir that in. And then we're going to add a good glug of half and half and about a tablespoon of butter to finish this off. Give it a good stir, and it is so creamy and carroty and delicious. This was super tasty. The curry was so nice with the carrot. I loved it. And here's our dinner, our last minute Thanksgiving dinner. That pork roast was also super delicious and tender, and the salt rub I created made such a delicious crust. This was an awesome Thanksgiving. All right, our Thanksgiving dinner is done. We have these amazing milk bread rolls that Sean put together. Again, these are a Joshua Weissman recipe, and they look so awesome. And we have our carrot and curry risotto with our pork roast. So we're pretty excited to dig in. I hope that you liked this video. It was a little bit more of a blog style video. And let me know in the comments if you like this. And also let me know if there's anything that you did differently this year on Thanksgiving than you would normally do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click subscribe and that little bell button to be alerted when I launch a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Now go have some fun in the kitchen. Oh, and dessert is sticky toffee pudding, which we'll have much later. And check out my Instagram for a photo of that. All right, happy Thanksgiving. See you later. Bye.